Hi! I hope you're doing well. So on my blog, I have a series called Success Stories where I interview various people in my life for their various successes. I've done ones called Designing Your Dream Life where I interview a life coach, and there's a popular one called The Truth Behind Modeling where I interview my friend who's a model about what really goes on behind the scenes in the modeling world. And there's tons more focusing on academics, focusing on self-love, and of course creating a productive lifestyle. So for the longest time, I've been wanting to turn that series into an interview series on my YouTube channel. And today I'm so excited to tell you that this is the first YouTube interview. So today we're on the topic of how to avoid burnout with my friend Julianne. So Julianne is a singer, a voice actor, and she also teaches singing lessons. And in that profession, she pushes herself very hard. And she pushed herself to a point where she just completely burnt out. So here are her tips and her story and how to ultimately avoid burnout.
Now I know that I'll never go back to the world that I've known, but I like it.
So let's get started. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. So Julianne, tell us a bit about yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Julianne Meaney and I'm a singer, actress, and voice teacher living in Newfoundland and Labrador, Canada. I also run a program doing music for people with disabilities. I do some voice acting, and I'm also a recent graduate of the music program at Memorial University here in Newfoundland. So I have a lot going on. I'm so excited to be here with Karen today, chatting about some of my experiences, how they've shaped who I am today as a person, and hopefully passing on a little wisdom to you. So thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoy.
I'm so excited to have you here too. So what was the story behind driving yourself to the point of burnout?
So last year I was a senior in my program. There were so many exciting things that were really going my way at the time. So I had the lead role in our opera performance. I was preparing a 30-minute final singing recital, and also my teaching career had really taken off. So I was teaching lots as well. With everything that was going on, I think I was probably singing some days between 5 to 8 hours, which is absolutely crazy. But at the time, I loved what I was doing so much. I wanted to push myself to that next level, which meant practicing more, going to more rehearsals, teaching more. And of course, all of this more ended up with me having some problems with vocal fatigue. I did end up getting a small injury. It was nothing too serious, but it was enough that I really had to take a step back from all of these crazy things that I was doing. I had lots of doctor's appointments and scary cameras put down my throat. I went through, I think, probably 2 or 3 weeks where I didn't speak, let alone sing. I was totally silent, which is really hard for me. And I just did everything I could, to actually get better from what had happened. Of course, nothing ever really goes the way you think it will. I was able to come back. I did perform in the opera, was able to do some things again, but I still was struggling with a lot of problems, not just in my voice, but also in my heart and in my head, because music and singing was something I had loved my whole life, and all of a sudden to encounter all these problems and not be able to do things the way I wanted to do them, it was just absolutely devastating to me. I felt like a part of my heart and soul had been taken away, and at the time I said I was never going to sing again. Which I know it sounds really dramatic, but that was truly how I felt, that I was just going to give up on all of this hard work and all of these dreams.
That's definitely a really hard experience that you went through. So how did you get back into singing?
To be honest, after everything that happened, it did take me some time to want to get back to singing again. And honestly, taking some time was one of the best things that I could have done. In that time where I wasn't singing, wasn't even thinking about performing, it really made me realize how much I missed it and how much I actually wanted to be doing it. Sometimes taking some time away from something, like they say, absence makes the heart grow fonder, and in my case it definitely did. When I finally started to get back to singing, I decided to go right back to the basics. So back to all of the things that had made music really fun for me in the first place. So in my case, that meant stepping away from opera and the classical music world and coming back to pop music and musical theater and all the stuff that had made me really love singing when I was first a kid, learning how to sing. So doing that actually helped me to rediscover my love for music and want to actually do it again, which was very important to me.
What are some lessons you learned from this burnout experience, and what are some tips to avoid burnout in the future?
One of the most important things I learned is that you can't do everything at once. Sometimes it's okay to say no to things or to take a step back from things for your health, either your physical health or your mental health. I also really learned how much music and singing actually means to me. Obviously, I wouldn't have gone to school for music if I didn't know that I loved it, but I hadn't realized just how much a part of my heart and soul it was until I had this experience. Something else that it really made me realize is that everyone thinks that they're invincible and that bad things happen to other people, but it's not going to happen to them. Especially in the singing world, there's quite a negative stigma around singers who get vocal injuries. When I started coming out and talking to friends about mine, I discovered so many people who had problems with fatigue, who, had been to the same doctors I had been to with the same issues. And it really just made me think that so many people are struggling, and not just in music, but in the world with, burnout and all these different issues, and they're just not talking about it. It became really important to me then that I wasn't going to stay silent about what happened and just suffer in silence, because it was really suffering at one point. And the only way I could deal with that was talking about it. And to this day, I still really want to talk about it. I talk about it to my students, my voice students, to my friends, to you guys on YouTube, to anyone who will listen, because I think it's really important to share my story and let everybody know that this can happen to anybody.
So as someone who does what you love for a living, how do you not let the work aspect take away the joy aspect of your passion?
For anybody who wants to take their passion and turn it into a career, my first piece of advice would be to dig really deep down in your soul and find what it is about that passion that really feeds that fire in your heart. So for example, if you're a musician and you love music, think what it actually is that you love about music. Do you love making music for an audience? Do you love collaborating with other musicians and making music together? Find what it is that you love about your passion, and then turn that into the building block that you're gonna kind of base your whole career around. Some more advice would be, if you're actually working in or studying this passion that you love, don't make it all about work. So say you're a writer, say that you write for a magazine all day, come home and maybe write a poem, write a short story. I'm not saying that you need to be writing all day at work and then writing it at home all night, but just take some time to get back to what you loved about it in the first place. And just do it for fun sometimes. It'll keep it new and exciting at work as well. And one final thing I want to say is that people are going to tell you that, you must have it so easy, you're so lucky that you get to do your passion every day. And yes, in some ways, they're right. It's amazing that you get to live your dream and follow your heart and your passions. But at the same time, you can be grateful and acknowledge that it is going to be really hard work. It's going to be hard, sometimes even more hard because your heart and soul is just so wrapped up in it. But that doesn't mean that you can't still be grateful and still love what you do.
And finally, do you have any last tips for our viewers?
My final words are going out to anybody going through kind of a difficult time in their life right now. I always say that life is like a trampoline. Sometimes you have to jump down into the trampoline to get jumped up into the next big thing. For me, this experience made me realize a new dream that I didn't even know that I had. And I now actually am working at a music program for people with disabilities, making music with them. It's absolutely amazing, makes my heart very happy every day. And I wouldn't have discovered this passion had I not gone through everything that I went through and really reevaluated my life and my love for music. So remember, good things are coming, I promise. Thanks so much to Karen for having me on today, and thanks to all of you for watching.
So thank you so much, Julianne, for being in this interview today. I'm so happy to have you, and hopefully we'll have more success story interviews on my channel soon. So if you want to check out the success story blog posts, they are in the link below, as well as where to find Julianne. On my blog, I now have this category called Shop My Favorite, so you can shop this exact outfit in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!